Shalom, Yashrala. This is your brother David from GMS St. Petersburg, Florida, coming back as you read this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Ruach HaKodesh. Double honors to the apostles and elders of the great millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And salutation, much love for you, I can push in this truth and sincerity in the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Salakia. So I want to jump into this lesson. Basically dealing with us being in the news, and hopefully this is not going to be too long, but nevertheless, I just want to jump over a couple points real quick, So basically I wanted to get into a lesson dealing with, how we conduct ourselves and how we being viewed in eyes of the world, and of course this video, my intentions isn't to say that, we're supposed to be loved by the world, because we know we're going to be hated by the world. All right. But nevertheless, there's a difference between, aggravating a situation or antagonizing people or entertainment, getting into that entertainment lane. All right, we're supposed to be bringing honor and glory into the names of Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shah, not misrepresenting them, and basically going for entertainment purposes. All right. And so you have to understand that, like the scriptures say, we were sent as sheep amongst wolves, right? Basically, in that analogy, you got, sheep's defenseless animals against basically, its predator, and the wolf is something that's basically going to go through and devour the sheep, so that's what they want to do. They want to devour us in a way, but what we have to walk through as sheep amongst wolves, So like you want to make sure that, you're not getting bitten by one of these wolves, so don't give them no kind of gas or anything like that to light the fire with. All right. So we're going to jump to these here videos real quick and bring out some precepts.
Now that Stingray Chevrolet has partnered with Joy Drive, you can shop our entire new and pre-owned inventory from home. Viral video of high school boys surrounding Native American activist Nathan Phillips, who stoically beat his drum, caused outrage. But a different video surfaced Sunday that showed what happened before.
Now notice how all of a sudden the narrative changed, but a different video, they go from the protest to this over here. All right. Now you'll see where, where things start going bad for these brothers.
For the encounter.
You little dirty crackers, your day coming. Your day coming.
When a radical group of protesters called Black Hebrew Israelites taunted the boys for more than an hour with racist and homophobic abuse.
So they said that they taunted them. All right. They was taunting them for, about an hour or whatever, whatnot, And so, one thing you have to keep in mind is, again, they're not going to ever paint you in a good way, but you don't ever want to give them the gas for that. They said they basically taunted them for about an hour, and in this whole clip, from being in this truth, that we pretty much on the highways and the byways, longer than an hour. So these brothers was out here for more than an hour, and the point that I want to bring up is, this isn't about, those brothers or whatever was going on. It's about you, and how you act and how you represent yourself, for an example, how everybody's looking and reading all this and seeing all this, they don't know the difference between the camps. They see us all as the same, just like how Esau see us, he sees us all basically as the same. They don't know the differences between the different groups or whatever, whatnot, same with the people. All right. But nevertheless, they said they was out here for about an hour and it was, what we will call, probably, preaching and teaching, on the highways and the byways. But nevertheless, and here in this here, still shot, you see, there's a brother back here, both of these brothers are basically looking at the scripts, and one brother's got his mouth open as if he, is reading out of the scripts. All right. It wouldn't take a dummy to be like, yo, what is he doing? He's reading out of the Bible. Right. But in this whole video, and none of the videos you can find, do you really hear them, bringing out any precepts, and not accusing these brothers of anything, down that lane. But nevertheless, they could have been out here. Let's say these brothers was out here preaching in truth and sincerity, hitting all the points, the whole time they was out there, right? The entire time they was out there. But, in one little slight of a moment, whether they packing up and leaving, whatever, whatnot, they made those comments, right? Not saying that those, nothing about the comments. I'm just saying that the fact that you see how they turn this and they put this against you. So now when they go to, introduce you to the world, this is your, how people say your first impressions are the lasting impressions or whatever or whatnot. As you being introduced into the world, because obviously we're on the YouTube. So we put it in our own narrative, but nevertheless, when they're presenting us, again, you can see here, the brothers reading out of the scriptures, but what? You don't hear any precepts coming out on none of the videos in which they showing you. All right. Again, not saying that these brothers aren't bringing out precepts, because it's clear here that they're reading out of the scriptures. But nevertheless, when you being viewed and you being portrayed, they only portray you as talking about cracker incest babies. All right. So that's the only soundbite that they got out of you. So that's the key that I'm trying to get across to you brothers, is that, you have to basically live like a celebrity. You don't want to get caught up with TMZ. You want to be on your, your best behavior, whatnot, just like a celebrity. You could be a celebrity in your own car, in your privacy of your own car, whatnot, but you still want to be on the lookout, because you never know, you might want to go and pick your nose, and, you got some, paparazzis outside the window, and they taking pictures of you inside your car while you thought you was alone, or, not knowing that there was cameramen around. Next thing you know, on the, front page of the articles the next day is you picking your nose. And now, you trying to so-called build a brand towards one thing, and now, that whole image is being tarnished by one split second, And so, like I was saying here, and the whole, I don't know how long these brothers was out or whatnot, but the only thing that we being able to see from these brothers as is being presented from the news is what? They're basically calling these people like, cracker incest babies, more or less to say, but they don't go in and show what these brothers was really saying. So what? Their whole plan and their whole purpose of so-called going out there was diminished by this. All right. So now, if nobody else seen them that was on the highways and the byways, the people that did see them only see them in this one light. So you have to keep that in mind when you out here on the highways and the byways. All right. Let me play a little bit more of this.
Abuse.
A bunch of child molesting.
You could hear the black Hebrew Israelites shouting racist things at the white people.
Now, notice how she said you could hear the so-called black Hebrew Israelites shouting racist things. This is the point, right? This guy's going to take over and start speaking, but wait, this is going to be something that's going to be overlooked, all right?
They were shouting racist things.
And the white people were shouting racist things back at the black Hebrews.
Phillips couldn't.
And immediately it was switched up off for that. So this is going, basically going back and forth. Not, saying this is right or wrong, but I'm just saying at the same time, these are things that's going to be overlooked by the mass media. The whole mass media, all they're going to take away from this is not that these so-called white people was rallying and protesting, being, Edomites, basically. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that these so-called white people trying to make America great again by what? Stealing America? We're not going to go into the topic of all that. But nevertheless, when people see this, they're not going to, try to get to the facts or whatever was going on. They just want to get to the so-called entertainment piece. Look what these Hebrew Israelites, how they call them cracker babies. Ha, 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 ha. Anybody that is seeing these videos, they're going to only want to see that one clip and that one portion. They don't want to hear about the precepts that you're bringing out. All right. So the whole hour that you out there, all that's being thrown away by these, 10 seconds of you talking about, cracker babies on film with the news. That's not edifying. All right. You're not exhorting it, not edifying, none of those things. All right. Here's another video I want to show real quick.
If you happen to walk by, you're going to get a bit of shock treatment.
Shock talk meant to stir people of color into action.
Shock talk, shock treatment. This is what these other camps are into. All right. They out here to so-called edify themselves, not to edify themselves, but to uplift themselves, to glorify themselves. All right. They want all the praise and all the glory. They want people to walk by and say, y'all see those strong black men out there cussing out the white man and so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, if you look down in the bottom left corner of the screen, you see people looking back, with the shock treatment. That's what they out there for. They're not out there to sincerely bring brothers in, to sincerely bring people in. They're not out here sincerely looking for, the lost sheep of the house of Israel. All right. What they out there doing is basically, the same thing we say about cops. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the cops that, was bullied in school, and once they get a badge, they just want to go out there and just, basically play Judge Dredd, basically in that sense, you trying to get you doing it for a whole other reason, and it's showing forth, So when we on the highways and the byways and we out here doing these different things, and it's real clear to see, you're not really fooling nobody but yourself, and you just look really stupid, because it's just obvious, you out here, you could be out here preaching about love, you could be preaching about the chariots, you could be preaching about thermonuclear missiles, right? And some so-called white people walk by, and all of a sudden you change up the whole game. You so-called white people going into slavery. Well, I mean, that's still a part of the scriptures, but if that's not what your lesson is at that point in time, then Hey, why you switching up the game on that? You getting that? You doing that for what? For attention. All right. You doing that to get somebody to be uproused. All right. Or a man and a woman is walking down the street. You know what I'm saying? And this woman basically dressed like a whore or whatever, whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And you just make a comment. Oh, you a whore, this and that, you know? Hey, you're not trying to fish nobody in. You're not trying to, bring nobody unto repentance that way. All right. All you doing is stirring people up. You know, put yourself in their shoes. If you don't know anything about this here truth, you know, you just a regular Babylonian, not knowing no better because you was brainwashed. All right. And you walking down the street with your woman, you know, and your woman is dressed like these women is dressed in Babylon. Again, I'm not saying that's right or whatever, whatnot, but you got to take in consideration. These people don't understand what's going on at the point in time. All right. We have a saying like milk and meat. They walking down the street. You don't just shove a whole bunch of meat down their throat. What's going to happen? They're going to throw up. And now you mad that you all puked up over because of why? You shoved a bunch of meat down their throat. All right. You got to understand, you know, you could fish them in a little different. You know, you could, hey brother, you know, instead of walking down the street and all you women is a bunch of whores, man, if you walking down the street with your old woman again, and you in that scenario, you're going to feel some type of way. All right. But there, you know, there could be a different way. Like, let's say you preaching on that topic, you know, and that happened to walk by, you know, hey sister, let me, talk to you for a second, you know, this and that, and edify. You telling them these things to lift them up, to edify them, not to so-called piss them off and, you know what I'm saying? Like, they say you can catch bees with honey. You know, it's a lot easier to catch bees with honey. You know, it's like a saying, you know, like, yeah, you could probably attract some bees, get some honey, walk up to the nest, and they might come and try to get the honey because it's something sweet, something that they like, something that they into. But if you roll up to a bee's nest and you just start swatting at it, they're going to all come out swinging or stinging. You know, they're going to be like, yo, what the hell going on? They don't know what's going on. All they know is they under attack and they just in defense mode. All right. So you have to understand these types of things. You have to realize what you out here for. Am I out here actually trying to fish and edify the elect? Or am I out here just to, cause strife and bring entertainment and acknowledgement to my name? All right. We're not out here for all these things because again, like I said, the one thing that people are going to know and remember from the news clip of us being in the news is, incest cracker babies. That's all they're going to remember. And that's what they're going to associate the Israelites with. All right. None of the precepts, nothing about how, you know, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are the Hebrew Israelites. None of these things, you know, none of these things about Babylon the Great or America being Babylon the Great. None of these things. All right. The so-called white man being Edomites. None of those so-called white people out there found out that they was Edomites. All right. If anything, the one thing that's lasting in their mind is incest cracker babies. All right. Now, if you would have put it in their mind, Edomite, they probably would have went home and researched some stuff. And then, you know, things would have been further on the move. But right now, you just caused a big upstir and commotion. You know, you pretty much called a world star moment. You know, they just doing this basically for clout, you know, clout chasing.
That's how Commander General Yohanna, head of the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, describes weekly protests he leads outside of the shops at Liberty Place in Center City. This video taken by the ISUPK is posted on the school's website and on YouTube. He says he and members of his Christian Bible school are well within their First Amendment rights. But shop owners say they've heard enough. Today in court, their lawyers...
Not going too much into how these camps is off, but if you're watching and you don't know, obviously these are camps that are going off and they're basically set up. You know, they say we are hardcore black men. We don't claim to be black, you know. We don't claim to be black Hebrew Israelites. We're not black, all right? When we was calling ourselves blacks, we was basically in a Gentile state of mind, thinking that we was black men, like how he's saying. Obviously, he's still in a Gentile state of mind. He just know that he's so-called Israelite and doing what? Using this to his so-called advantage so he can so-called feel big and strong and mighty in the eyes of so-called people to make him feel like he's something or somebody, all right?
Argued the group is trespassing. In addition, they say the group's offensive language frightens customers.
They preach about how they hate white people, how they hate gays, how they're preaching calling women whores. I mean, really, really hostile kind of language that makes...
Now, and what this guy's saying is basically, you know, those things, that's what's in the scriptures, all right? But again, there's a way of going about things and to be able to teach, to edify, not teach for strife, all right? Or filthy lucre's sake, or trying to bring people in off of your entertainment pieces. Again, walking around, you know, screaming women are whores and all you crackers is going, you know, all of that extra shit like that is not it's not warranted, all right? You can go into the scriptures. All right. And there's plenty of scriptures about, you know, the descriptions of a whore. All right. You can read those scriptures out. And if these women, they fit that description, hey, it is what it is. Same thing with, basically these Edomites going into slavery. What does scripture say? He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. All right. and they shall take them captives whose captives they were. All right. And so, I mean, these things are written in the scriptures, but you preach to edify. All right. You don't just be like, oh, y'all, this and that going to slavery, because people just taking that out for filthy lucre's sake. All right. Entertainment pieces. But if you go and you show them in the scriptures, now they have to actually face something. They're like, wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? But this is actually written in there. Maybe they just they reading it wrong. Then they might go and do some further research, you know. But we know that the wicked not gonna understand. But at the same time, we have a job to do, and we have to complete our task. We can't sit here and fumble the ball at the play. All right.
People feel intimidated and fearful, and that's not protected by the First Amendment.
We don't hate white people, but God hates white people.
Commander General Yohannes says members of his group have never physically harmed anyone.
You white people can rest assured we're not going to riot. We're not going to burn down your cities. What we all...
You see how he's saying that smirkingly? Because this is all for entertainment pieces, all right? All for entertainment pieces.
What we're going to do, though, is we are going to fix black and Hispanic people.
All right, we're not black, nor are we Hispanic. That's why we say so-called. We are the Hebrew Israelites. And this is one of the main parts of our job, is to wake our people up to who they are. They are the Hebrew Israelites. They're not black and they're not Hispanic. All right. And these are the differences between the camps. All right. We're not out here pushing black supremacy. All right. We're not a black, a black supremacist group, that type of thing. You know, we're not supporting black. All right. So we're going to jump into the scriptures. This is John 17, and I'm going to start at verse 9. It says, I pray for them. I pray not for the world, but for them which thou hast given me, for they are thine. All right. So Yahushua is saying he's praying for them. Who is the them? The them, you can go to Revelation 7 and find out who the them is. All right. Which is basically talking about the elect. All right. So it says, I pray for them. I pray not for the world. Now you have the world. So when you go to Ezekiel 9 and 4 and you read about that mark, right? That word goes into exemption from judgment. All right. Now, when you fast forward to Revelation 7 or Revelation 14, which, will further tell you about those men that's got that mark, which is the 144,000. And when you go to Revelation 7, it tell you about the 144,000 and the 1/3. These people, now you see a separation of people. You have the ones that's going to be saved, and then you have the rest of the damn world. The rest of the damn world going to wind up catching judgment. All right. So it says, I pray for them, which is the elect. I pray not for the world, but for them which thou hast given me, for they are thine. And all of mine are thine, and all of thine are mine, and I am glorified in them. All right. So the world doesn't glorify Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, but his elect, they're the ones that's going to glorify Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. All right. For an example, like, I'm not sure if I said this already or not, but because I re-recorded this video, but, if you work at McDonald's, right, you and a friend work at McDonald's, y'all got your uniform on, right? You leave your job and you go out somewhere else. Let's say you go to the mall or something, the movies or something, somewhere else, and you are in your uniform and you act the ass inside the establishment. You slapping up some people, you robbing a spot, whatever, whatnot. You just acting the ass, right? People are going to remember that a lot because, for one, most people don't know your whole background and your whole story. So they don't know your name and how to call you this. And then they're like, oh, them people from McDonald's. McDonald's did this. McDonald's did that. It's like a false representation because why? You in a McDonald's clothes, this is how they can identify you and who you represent. So they be like, oh, that's the McDonald's people over there. They tripping because, whoop-de-woo. We can see they got the McDonald's clothes on. Obviously, they represent McDonald's, right? And so, same with gangs. You see people wearing red flags, blue flags. They committed crime. They're like, oh, that was them Bloods did that. Them Crips did that, Same with here. We supposed to be representation of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. So the things that we do, is ultimately going to, we're not bringing glory to ourselves or the things in our own self, like our own name. Like these guys out there, they want to do the things so they can get glory in their own self. Yeah, I'm a big, strong black man. I'm a powerful black man and do this, I'm that. No, we know that our power is in Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, because at any point in time, he could take his hedge up off of us and we just out there like the rest of the people. All right. We don't have no strength and no power in our own hand and our own might. All right. So there's that difference. All right. And it says, verse 11, and now am I no more in the world, but these are in the world. And I come to thee, Holy Father, keep through thy own name those whom thou hast given me, that they may be one as we are one. It says, while I was with them in the world, I kept them in thy name. Those that thou gavest me, I have kept, and none of them are lost, but the son of perdition, that the scripture might be fulfilled. And now come I to thee, and these things I speak in the world, that they might have joy fulfilled in themselves. All right. Let me just keep reading. I have given them thy word, and the world hated them because they are not of the world, even as I am not of the world. I pray not that thou should take them out of the world, but that thou should keep them from evil. They are not of the world, even as I'm not of the world. Sanctify them through thy truth. Thy word is truth. All right. So again, making that further distinction between us and the rest of the world. We not of the world. We don't act and do the things that the world is doing. A lot of the world right now is, everybody in the world right now is trying to get so-called put on via the internet. All right. They want to, they got this basically clout chasing it's an epidemic, a clout chasing right now. You got the likes of, or they got another word for it, trolls and stuff. You got like that guy Tekashi 6ix9ine, you can just use him as an example. Everybody's on that tip. They doing whatever it takes to basically get so-called known and famous. That guy was pretty much known for, like, the way I know the guy is basically off of just this guy keep popping up on my damn YouTube. I didn't know I think I heard maybe one song by him and didn't even know it was him to the fact of the matter. But I knew all about this dude from this guy just keep popping up on the damn internet. All this news about him. That's how he got himself famous, and a lot with these other people too, these Instagram models, so on and so forth. So everybody's so-called trying to get famous, trying to big up their name and glorify their own self, whatever it takes, and they willing to bring dirt on their own name for that. All right. But what? We're not trying to get glory for our own self. We're trying to get glory for Yahweh Bashem Yahweh. All right. And so, it's like he said, we're not of the world. We was taken out of the world. And well, we were pulled from the world. We was actually growing up with the same mindset, but he's saying that he prayed that the Lord don't take us physically from out of this body, from being out of this world, because it's all wicked here, but that we would endure through all of this. All right. And that we would stay separate from this here world. Like the scriptures say, come out of her, my people. All right. We have already separated from this here, Babylon and these ways of being. All right. And we're not trying to do the things of Babylon. All right. But yet these people here are still, these other camps, they still doing the same thing. All right. So when you're on the highways and the byways, you got to keep that in mind. You here to glorify Yahweh Bashem Yahweh. All right. And we're not supposed to be like the world, because we were separated from the world. We're not trying to do the worldly things and get clout like the rest of the world is getting, and get a name for ourselves like the rest of the world is getting, and trying to make an entertainment piece. All right. We're not here for entertainment. All right. This is Matthew chapter 10. Verse 16, it says, behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpent and harmless as doves. So first and foremost, we being sent as sheep among wolves. All right. We basically that one big ass juicy steak that's thrown in the goddamn kennel with a pack of hungry dogs, or starving dogs or hyenas. Everybody trying to eat us up. But what? You know what I'm saying? Is that piece of meat. We got to sit there and we got to look bad. Not to say look bad, but we got to, how do I say, like the scriptures say, be wise as serpents. All right. You know what I'm saying? We got to be subtle. A snake will creep right up on you. You wouldn't even know that he there. You know what I'm saying? He creep right up on you before he, go for the attack. But nevertheless, not saying that we trying to attack anybody or nothing like that. But at the same time, when again, I'm gonna go back to the TMZ thing. If you're a celebrity, right? And that people trying to catch you up with all kind of different things. Every time you go out with these celebrities, somebody trying to run up on you and swing on you. As a celebrity, like I remember Cat Williams got caught like this one time before. He was inside the grocery the Target or some shit like that, and the cashier dude, little white dude, was like, he said something to him, like he said, you fucking nigger or something like that, and Cat Williams just popped his ass, swung on him and knocked the dude out, or hit the dude, right? Well, when the world saw it, they only saw the news clip of the security cameras inside the store, where it looked like there was no audio, but he just wound up hitting the dude, But then Cat Williams was like, yeah, there was actual audio, and what he said to me, you would have hit him in the mouth too. But, not to say he was right or wrong, but yeah, I mean, I can see where and why you would have wanted to put your hands on him, but you have to understand you in a bigger boat than that. Yeah, you knocked homeboy out. Yeah, he looked stupid on TV, whatever, whatnot, but he ultimately won, because now you looking like a retard going to jail, looking like a crackhead going to jail. They're not going to paint you in the best light, because they want you. Again, you a sheep amongst a bunch of wolves. They waiting to devour you. All right. Now the white kid didn't hit you, whatever, whether he was set up or not. He ain't got to work at the Target no more. He could just sue you. Now he on the ups now. You see what I'm saying? He taking your money that you had to work hard for. Whereas all he had to do is get you to bait him, or all he had to do is bait you to get you to hit him. You see what I'm saying? And now he done won. And so that's the predicament that we in here. All right. It says, behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. They waiting to devour your ass. All right. But don't give them the fuel for the flame. All right. Don't give them that moment. All right. It says, be therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. So like I was saying, like with the Cat Williams situation, years back, homeboy would have called him a nigger, this and that, so on and so forth. You could have just walked up out of the store, like realized, like, yo, this ain't got shit to do with you being racist. This ain't got shit to do with you not liking me or whatever, whatnot. This ain't got nothing to do with nothing personal. This has got something to do with you and you trying to make a come up off of my name. And if I allow that, that's my fault, you know? What he should have did was either A, just walk away, or if you want to get back at him, be like, you know what? This is on tape. I'm about to go to your boss, get you fired, you know? Then that just would have been that. You know, his name would have still been clean and everything like that. That person wouldn't have got what they would have wanted, and that just would have been it. They would have kept it moving, all right? So it says, Matthew 10:16 again, behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. But beware of men, for they will deliver you up to councils, and they will scourge you in their synagogues. And you shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake, for a testimony against the Gentiles. When they deliver you up, take no thought how or what you shall speak, for it should be given you in the same hour for what you shall speak. For it is not ye that speak, but the Spirit of your Father which speaketh in you. All right. So that's the key point. The Most High, these are his words, not our words. This is not what we saying out of our own heart. All right. So not only when you getting delivered up before, the courts and the judges and things like that, but also, hey, when you in front of these here people, or the news and things like that, don't go out there pre-planning for a lot of things, especially with the weekend coming up and, we about to go out to the highways and the byways. You shouldn't have it in your heart. You know what? We finna go out to the highways and the byways this weekend, and we're gonna push up on Esau. Hopefully the news will come at us and we'll go viral. Maybe our camp will be the one that'll be the one that's going viral. Maybe my picture will be the one that'll be up there going viral, and everybody will know me. So I'll be famous. That ain't the spirit we supposed to be in. If that's the spirit, you need to check yourself, man, because that's not what our job or what we supposed to be doing, man. We're not supposed to be here for. Let me just grab my last precept. This is Titus 1:7. It says, for a bishop must be blameless, a steward of the Most High, not self-willed, not soon angry, not given to wine, no striker, not given to filthy lucre, but a lover of hospitality, a lover of good men, sober, just, holy, temperate, holding fast the faithful word as he has been taught, that he may be able by sound doctrine to both exhort and to convince the gainsayers. All right. Let me go back up to the top. But nevertheless, you're not supposed to be self-willed and soon to be angry, just popping off in the spirit, because you got a job. You got to, how do I say? It's like, you got to have some kind of professionalism with it. You know what I'm saying? You still have a job to do. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes just like, in a court, a judge might be listening to somebody, testimony, knowing good and goddamn well that they lying. They telling some, well, see, what happened was, I stole this UFO and, we went over and on Sesame Street and we got Baby Bop and Big Bird and so on and so forth. And they're like, man, I know this motherfucker lying. The judge could be like, man, I know you fucking lying. Like, come on, bro. But yet they still have to have a professionalism. Like, all right, well, we found you in a court of law, of lying, whatever, whatnot, and just play it out professionally because you got a job to do. It's not about you, even though you and your own self know, man, this motherfucker lying, right? It says, verse 9, holding fast the faithful words that he had been taught, all right, that he may be able by sound doctrine, both to exhort and to convince the gainsayers. And when you look at those videos, all right, those gainsayers and all those, nobody was convinced, nobody was exhorted, nobody was uplifted, all right. Verse 10, for there are many unruly and vain talkers and deceivers, especially they of the circumcision, whose mouths must be stopped, who subvert whole houses, teaching things which they ought not for filthy lucre's sake. All right. Let me just keep reading. Let me just read this all the way out. But nevertheless, that's what they're doing, subverting whole houses. They all see us all as one thing, all of us as Hebrew Israelites. They don't know what camp is sold out and this and that. Well, Esau does, but you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, they're going to group us all in the same thing. When they presented us on the news, they see that one camp, they're going to associate that with all of us. Somebody in, that was in DC. Somebody could be walking around in Texas and see, a whole different camp, IUIC, and think that they the same men, even though they in different colors and everything, It says, verse 12, one of themselves, even a prophet of their own, said the Cretians are always liars, evil beasts, slow bellies. This witness is true, wherefore rebuke them sharply, that they may be sound in faith, not giving heed to Jewish fables and commandments of men that turn from the truth. Unto all pure things are pure, but unto them that are defiled and unbelieving is nothing pure, but their mind and conscience is defiled. For they profess that they know the Most High, but their works they deny him, being abominable, disobedient, and to every good thing, every good work, reprobate. And that's exactly what we're seeing in those videos, you know, because at the end of the day, when those men was out there preaching and all that, none of the words of the Most High was being, you know, aired across the airwaves. And of course, that's not those brothers' fault that was the sound bite that they took out. But you also have to be wise as serpents and harmless as doves. You know that the camera crew and the news is out there. You know that this is your enemy. You know they trying to slander your name. Do you think that they're going to portray you in any kind of good light? All right, so you need to be on your P's and Q's. And if anything, go out there. Let me read how they say it again. Verse 9, holding fast the faithful word as he had been taught, that he may be able by sound doctrine both to exhort and to convince the gainsayers. So what? Go into them scriptures, you know, precept upon precept upon precept upon precept. And like I said, those brothers might have been out there for the whole time they was out there, precept upon precept upon precept. But in what? Those 15 seconds, they got the one thing that they needed and they ran with it. And now look, it's a whole smear campaign on all of us because of that one little 15-second soundbite. All right. So this is just a word of exhortation to the brothers that's on the highways and the byways to just be mindful of the times that we really entering in, and you know how things like this, you know, could turn into something way bigger than what it really is. So just, you know, watch in mind how you say things and how you do certain things and things like that, you know. And remember that this is not for entertainment purposes or for our own sake, but this is to edify, not to edify, but to glorify Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. All right, bring them the glory. If you're not bringing them the glory, you bringing them shame. All right, you don't want to bring them shame. You either on one side of the fence or the other side. Like they say, you either gathering or you scattering. You either bringing glory or you bringing shame. Which one are you doing? With that, we're going to say, call halal Yahweh Bashim Yahushua Bashim Rakak Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you, I can push this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Till next time, I say, stay strong and shalom.